The best way to understand what ADD is, and what it is not, is to see how it affects the lives of people who have it. In the two cases that follow, one can witness the struggles these individuals endured to break through inaccurate labels and unfair judgments. As their stories unfold, a definition of ADD emerges.
It was 11 o'clock at night, and Jim Finnegan was pacing in his study. This was where he often found himself at night, alone, pacing, trying to get things together. Now approaching the halfway point of life, Jim was getting desperate. He looked around the room and took in the disorder. The room looked as if the contents of a bag lady's shopping cart had been dumped into it. Books, papers, odd socks, old letters, a few half-smoked packages of Marlboros, and other loose ends lay scattered about, much like the bits and pieces of cognition that were strewn about his mind. Jim looked up at the to-do list that was tacked to the corkboard above his desk. There were 17 items, the final one circled several times in black ink and marked with exclamation points. Reorganization proposal due Tuesday, March 19th. This was Monday, March 18th. Jim hadn't started on the proposal. He'd been thinking about it for weeks, ever since he told his boss that he had a plan that would increase productivity as well as morale in the office. His boss had said, "Fine, come up with a written proposal and we'll see how it looks." His boss had also added a remark about how he hoped Jim would have enough follow-through to actually get something done this time. Jim knew what he wanted to say. The office needed a new computer system, and the men and women out front needed more authority so they could make decisions on the spot so everybody's time wouldn't be wasted in unnecessary meetings. Efficiency would go up and morale would definitely improve. It was simple, obvious. All the ideas were detailed on the various scraps of paper that dotted the floor of his room. But all Jim could do was pace. "Where do I start?" he thought to himself. "If it doesn't come out right, I'll look stupid. Probably get fired. So what else is new? Why should this job be any different? Great ideas, no follow-through." The night went on agonizingly. One minor distraction after another would knock Jim offline as he tried to clutch onto the task at hand. A cat would meow outside. He'd think of something someone had said 3 days ago and wonder what they really meant by that. He'd want a new pencil because the one he had felt heavy in his hand. Finally, he got down the words, "A proposal for office reorganization at Unger Laboratories." Then, nothing. "Just say what you want to say," a friend had told him. Okay, say what you want to say. But nothing came. He thought of a new job he wanted to apply for. Maybe I should just bag this and go to bed. Can't do that. No matter how bad it is, I've got to finish this proposal. By 4 a.m. he was beat, but not beaten. The words began to come. Somehow his extreme fatigue had lifted the censor in his mind, and he found himself explaining his ideas simply and efficiently. By 6 he was in bed, hoping to get a little sleep before his meeting with his boss at 9. The only trouble was that at 9 he was still in bed, having forgotten to set the alarm before he went to sleep. When he arrived in a panic at the office at noon, he knew from the look on his boss's face that no matter how good the proposal was, his days at Unger were over. "Why don't you find a place with a little bit more flexibility?" his boss said, and thanked him for his proposal. "You're an idea man, Jim. Find a place that can accommodate your style."